I'll get outside of you guys. That's Sam. He just ignores me. He's got this sweet jacket on.
Well, you're outside of Clay County, so I got to recognize you.
Well, see, I wear boots. You know, I still represent where I'm from.
I'm Orange Park. I'm North Clay County. You know that.
Yeah, that's why there's two different house districts. You know, that's why Bobby Payne sells.
I'm not in Bobby Payne country.
How you been? Everything good?
Great, man.
Good.
How's my girl Lauren Mello doing?
Good. I'm proud of you.
Take a picture of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she'll love that.
I want to stand next to this guy right here.
Hey, man, good to see you. Skylar. You'll have to text that to me so I can put it on our Facebook page.
I'll do it right now.
So, I started sharing on our social media page. No, I'm proud of you, man.
Well, thanks.
Killing it. Yeah.
Well, thank you. She said.
Just need to close it out.
Yeah.
Dean and I are always Harrison, how's it going, man? We did a lot of good things together, man. We did the PCA and the I can rewrite it. The PCA was good.
Okay, we need it. Whatever it is, we need it. Right? So right on.
Of course, yeah.
You have no challenge whatsoever in the house.
Sure.
I don't know if you watch me.
I mean, sorry, this is Jessica. Marie's over there. Okay. Jessica and Marie. How are you? And Juan.
Nice to meet you, Juan. Juan, thanks for service.
And so he's going to get a scholarship now because of the...
Yes. Congratulations.
Very exciting. Thank you. All right, so we're about probably 5 minutes out, so you can keep talking, but we just wanted to have everybody in place when the governor arrives. So continue on. I'll let you know when you need to be quiet.
All right. Listen. Thank you so much for working with us.
Yes, well, she goes here, and he goes to the school next door. So we had a house in Jacksonville.
Yes, it has. And I
So this year been in and out, but we decided to go to Jacksonville. So this is yes, we love it. We're from Puerto Rico originally. For us, this is like, yes, Puerto Rico.
Representative Duggan has NAS in his district. As I do now. That's part of his reach.
We live exit to Callahan. Okay. That, what's that, New King? Yes. 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 Right side. So, I guess we like, you know, like stay where it's like so busy. At the end of the day, you want to kind of turn around and decompress. Yes. And it's a good, strategically it's a good place because that way you cut through the US one and you don't have to take 95 or anything to go work. So we cut downtown. Good. Yeah. And I work with nonprofits. With responsibility. Yeah, so I'm the manager of the middle school. I did marketing for a long time in Virginia. That kind of work.
Boom, got a picture of boom.
What grade are you in? Second grade. Yes. And he's graduating 8th grade this year.
So where's your next?
Yeah, well, you're staying here, right? Morningside? Yes, we're staying in Morningside. They have high school now. They used to run last 2 years.
Right on the
Great. He wouldn't have to go to Bishop tonight.
Right.
Yeah, but for him, he's like, he needs a small setting.
There's deputies that just stare at you, whatever
He
you do.
tried.
You know, if you look at it, they'll come up with me. So I'm looking at it, like, he's arguing and I'm like,
Didn't.
I look at it,
It's
right,
a department recommended. Yes.
So,
Yes. Well, they only did, yeah, when we had the lockdown, they stayed home, but as soon as they opened up,
he stands there and I said,
I like them to be like, I don't like and I'm not a teacher. I do spreadsheets all day. I'm not a teacher of elementary and middle school.
Think about it, you're the lunch, you're the member founding. People said, "Hey, you like the governor, they'll literally pick you up and take you wherever it is, hard
Yes.
racing.
I mean, we were staying here, anytime that there was, you know, somebody that they notified me with the rating, you know, with them.
I'll do it. I'll watch you.
I mean, we gotta take business. We all started work at the same day. Yes.
Do you like it school here? You like it? What's your name? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I have twin boys the same age. You're in second grade, right? Are you 8 years old? No?
Not yet.
7. Okay, almost 8. They're in second grade.
Oh, yeah? Where did they go?
They're homeschooled and they do it. They were born in late September, so
Yes, they're college. Yes. I know a lot of families that they have like a group that they do. Yes, that's right. My friend does that because she, well, and yes, so she just decided to take it on herself. She's doing a great job. She has to call me.
yes.
Yes. And then the earthquake hit, and my mom, like, her house got really bad, so she moved to Jacksonville. Yes, yes, they moved, they love it, and they're working, you know, they were retired back home, but in here they needed, so they've been working, they love it. Yeah. They went to Orlando, it was too busy for them, so they decided,
Jacksonville's good.
I love it, I wouldn't change it, you know, I recommend it to everyone. Yeah, you gotta take care of it when the crazy things happening. Yeah. That's the music from the band. You're gonna, this is your spot, lady. They're gonna come. She's like, what's going on?
I'll sit back up. Hey, stop a minute.
Whose band is that?
Hey, how's it going? That's a good job for the legislature. There's their go part. Yes. Going to do the Chicago Bulls warm-up song. That's a good job. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, I've been doing this since my session, the best one ever for me. And I think for the delegation, I mean, we feel so many things. Yeah. It was good. Good stuff.
Yes, that's why they're playing music.
Hear anything bad about her? Is that or anything at all? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our middle school number one is praying on basketball.
We did totally really good. So, and we're gonna play next year. Good grade. It starts for 5 months. We're there again. So. You know what? I understand that it's not amendable, meaning the compact is what it is. You're either up or down on it. It's already been signed by the governor and the tribe, so we're the third leg. So if we reject it, then it goes back to zero. Then all these other things I really don't know. I mean, if you're, the thing is about the compact, if you love gambling, you'll love this compact. If you hate gambling, you'll love this compact because it limits everywhere else.
I know, I'm just missing your hair.
The thing is, here's the thing, y'all are constitutional amendment of no expansion of gaming without, voters, because the sports book is definitely expansion. I can see the limitation, of the games for their reservations, but I'm going to be right here in Christ the King. I'm going to be betting $20 on the Mets. Yeah, so I mean, that's I know. Yeah, I know. I'll be in Sunday school. Yeah, and hey, somebody's going to ring that up for sure. So.
What are we talking about?
I got a request for appointments, but I haven't actually met with anybody on it. I'll be there Sunday and Monday morning. And by the way, we're full Friday. The Capitol's wide open. There's no mask. Which is good. So, if y'all hear something, let me know. If you have an angle, I don't know. Our friendly neighborhood area doesn't communicate with me at all. Yeah. Just money. You just got to be a while you're married away.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to get paid too. They get paid too. Everybody gets paid.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what we need to do today? We're going practice your
I'll probably spend some time with him. First, I love jump balls. I love jump balls. Don't you love jump balls?
Yeah.
When I was, what's that? And when I was in the house, the most fun I've ever had was a jump ball where you literally had to rally the folks there, and it's so much fun. You're bored otherwise. That's it.
What invitation? Yes, yes.
Yeah, no, they need, as leadership, need to get more. That's tough. Okay, and we haven't either. We're a little more independent there. So, Although you're a player, I am. It's just our nature of it. Nixon, give him a run. That will be a Davis. No. Yeah. One more chance.
Go out with a bang.
I know. We did. Was up on Saturday, 17. Two of them. How much is it? Just can't say no. It's hard to say.
Ring run? Yeah. That's the problem, right? Like you file like 60 bills, you're like, all right, 2/3 of these are going to be like, okay, we're good at that. So she's like running around with a chicken with her head cut off. This is a good problem to have.
Is that so? There are a couple. I don't know if you know, there's something called the Child Protection Team. We have a big one here. We just redid a formula. Jacksonville's not the biggest area, it's the biggest cases. And there's, 17 CPTs. And the Department of Health just reworked the formula into a major reduction. The CPTs, after we gave them an increase, they, Jacksonville's increase. That's just came up this morning. Yeah, I'm with you. And you're part of that too. What's that? It's going to be, we're going to have to put in a law. It's got to follow up the money. They tried it last year. We blocked it. They tried this year. There'll be a handful of things we need to address. Yeah. All right. Right down the road. Yeah. Where are you now? Yeah. Oh yeah, one more year. It's stand-up comedy is what it is. So, which is no, I'm glad to defend anybody. I said it was open. Yeah, I said it was open to all members of the legislature. So it appealed to a very wide audience, which is good. Oh yeah, we lost 257 pounds. That's 1.2 senators or 3.5 House members. What's that? Yeah. I was supposed to have a walk-up song. I don't know if they did it right. Y'all remember? Y'all did it? So it was good. It was good. So I was in the back chat and they said, go. And I'm like, okay. Good time. First time was... Hey, it's Stephanie. It's Aaron. I'm actually standing behind the podium. Got it. All right, 10-4. Thank you. And then the private 10-4. Okay, 10-4. Thank you. I've got an announcement. Hey guys, it's Senator Bean, and we're just a few minutes away. I want to give a little heads up. Our mics are hot. And so I just got a call that the state of Florida can hear all the good things we're bragging on our governor and on this bill that he's going to sign. So I think we're just a couple minutes away. So get ready. Makes you want to get fired up. So we're just a few minutes away. Good deal.
I know, right? Getting ready for high school.
That's when we could go with each other's
In morning session, yes.
So I go give it to you. Here's how you announce it.
I'm not ready for that, but you're gonna have to school there, the first day of school, I was crying in a corner.
And he's right now.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
That is on his spinner for seconds.
Yes.
That was,
She did her community.
that's fine. I had a good time with that.
Yes.
I got to figure out who's going to take that one.
Yes, and enjoy. Hopefully, because it was
I haven't heard anyone say that.
Okay. All right, good. Well,
can't wait. I don't know when it's gonna get here. I'm just
it's a hot looking.
look at my garden. Small, but I
It was fun.
did you trabajar en reconciliación? Thank you. Yeah, we always put another guy. That's good.
You're very active.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. Yes. Third grade was great. She did it. She just did it. Yeah. We have pictures of Gia with other voting, this pre-K, over here. Other voting. Yet we stay the same.
We say the same.
Yes. Hot.
Is that right?
It was actually.
That I would
I can see how they have. Mom always wants to get
She's the deputy LED.
When did you say that?
That's exactly how it happened.
You mind if her Jerry? Yeah, so Jerry, she was given a budget. Scott's mom. That's her. Father. Their dad was executive director of Jerry. Everybody's all. Build it out. You probably should have been. Everybody go to the song.
He likes Spanish, he likes they be banned on the sidewalks and trails. They're on the beach. And I'd rather just not because what it is because you can tell what it looks like. But he is, I told him, I said, you can't do it, you can never what you did here. So it just, you just don't raise taxes. So he says, got it.
That's the advice you get anybody in the state that taxes are bad. Taxes on Monday, kids.
There it is. There's plenty enough revenue.
Even though there's not
The media is standing there playing.
2:30.
My own came in.
Time to take your tablet somewhere.
There's nobody in Tallahassee.
Yeah, he needs a phone. They stay there till 6.
What are you talking about? Freaking out over here. I'm good. I'll keep guessing. People are whatever they can. Paying double.
I don't know.
It's literally the Tallahassee thing.
Yeah, they're tired of waiting. Guys, haven't done anything all day. I already did a full day of work. He's pretty good though about, because he has. No, he's pretty responsible. Because he has his rep house, so he has to keep it clean. Yeah, he does. He's really good about that. I thought you wanted a Pac-Man
Casey doesn't let him use
and they eat like
But it's like,
depends on the breed. We know.
Everybody tops off, but it seems like
What you gotta use?
in Fernandina, there were some lines. Like, there's one, the big main flash is out. They have the same there were a couple other places that had their lines.
Yeah, gonna get back to him. He takes care of all the animals now. Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna work at the school. Yes, so we're very excited. He wants to make sure he gets assigned to the hotel. Yeah, one time one of the lizards got out of the tank and I started screaming. Not a for that.
Everything was in 20 minutes. Mike, you're in.
We've had little tickets up in the house sometimes.
John's answer, he lives in White House.
Oh, yes. Very into nature. He's always with us. Very little. Hopefully he just follows the path. When nobody's watching. Yes. Yes. When they know it's just them, it's this simple. Yes. Yes. Very feisty. I think because he's saying what he's trying. Yes. Oh, that's true, yes. No. Yeah, they're coming. Somebody's coming. Come on, guys. Don't block, okay? Oh, the kids are coming.
Your kid always remembers the day the governor came.
Yes. Thank you. I can take up.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you gotta go there.
I'll tell you.
You'll tell me what I said.
No, but I hear. She should have a hard time with ESPN. Yeah, she's like that. She's like that.
I appreciate you, Mother. Thank you so much.
That's true. That's exactly right. That's the metric. Welcome, Governor. How y'all doing? Sure. However you want. Oh, yeah. Okay. How many more do we got? It's almost the end. That's it right there. Okay. Man. They had a band and everything. I felt like, we're going to come here and see the kickoff. It was so exciting. It was like a festive atmosphere. The bigger students are Bishop Kenny, the ROTC unit, and the band was from there as well. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Deacon Scott Conway, the Superintendent of Schools for the Diocese of St. Augustine. We are so proud to welcome you to Christ the King Catholic School. It is a great honor to have Commissioner Corcoran from the Education Department, our lawmakers, Representative Byrd, Duggan, Yarborough, and Senator Bean here present with us, and especially to welcome Governor Ron DeSantis for the signing of this very important legislation that will continue to help families choose where to send their children to school. This school was founded in 1953 and is the first Catholic school in the state of Florida to be accredited a STREAM school, that is science, technology, religion, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It is a great honor to have been selected by the U.S. Department of Education as both a National Blue Ribbon School and most recently as a National Green Ribbon School for environmental sustainability. We are so proud that this school has a dynamic curriculum containing hands-on learning in the area of STREAM and integral ecology that is infused throughout the entire curriculum. Christ the King has been proudly participating in the Florida Scholarship programs for many years, providing educational opportunities to students who might not otherwise receive them. Out of its 281 students, a combined 151 received the Florida Tax Credit or the Family Empowerment Scholarship for low-income families. And another 16 combined receive either the Gardner or McKay scholarships for special needs. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone for being here today, especially Governor DeSantis, and it's my great honor to introduce Father James Bodie to lead us in prayer.
Most Heavenly Father, as we gather today, we celebrate the gift of the formation of students and their continued education through the Florida Tax Credit and Family Empowerment Scholarships. As these students advance in their studies, may they, as future leaders in our community, have a strong, moral, positive impact in our community, in our city, in our state of Florida. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Good afternoon. It's great to be back in Jacksonville. I want to thank We got all these, I know Senator Bean, I think we have a bunch of representatives here. Are you all here? Byrd, Duggan, Yarborough, Fisher, Garrison, is everybody here? Okay, great. Well, great. We'll also hear from, we'll hear from our Education Commissioner, we'll hear from Senator Bean, we'll also hear from a couple parents who've utilized these scholarships, and we look forward to hearing from Maria Echevarria as well as Jessica Bianchi. So you guys will be called up. In 2019, I signed into law the Family Empowerment Scholarship. If you remember, Florida has long had a tax credit scholarship program that had serviced about 100,000 low-income families, gave the parents the ability to choose schools for their kids, an ability that they wouldn't have otherwise had were it not for that. But that was basically at its limit. There was a waiting list. There were more families that needed help. And so when we did the Family Empowerment Scholarship, we were able to effectively clear the waiting list for the tax credit scholarship program. That helped, I think, about 18,000 families right off the bat. In 2020, during the legislative session, I signed into law an expansion of that FES program, and that allowed 28,000 new students to be able to participate in the scholarship program for a total of 46,000 students. And this year, with the House Bill 745, which I'll sign here in a minute, we will be taking even more steps to not only broaden opportunities for parents, particularly our low-income families, but also making these scholarships even better. This bill maintains the priority in the program for folks who are considered low-income. At the end of the day, people do well, that's great. They have the ability to make these choices. It's our low-income families that need help with the scholarships. So we believe that that is something that we're going to continue. This now provides access to the program for students in foster care and out-of-home care and siblings of students receiving scholarships. That wasn't necessarily the case before, so I think that that's a laudable expansion. We also eliminate some of the bureaucratic barriers to entry. We also decrease wait lists for eligible students to benefit from scholarship programs. One of the things I'm most proud of in this as a military veteran, as a guy that served right down the road in Naval Station Mayport, I know how important our active duty military community is to so many places in Florida, but particularly here in Northeast Florida. This new expanded scholarship program gives military families the ability to maximize their school choice options by ensuring the children of a member of the U.S. Armed Forces will always have access to scholarship options without regard to any wait list or maximum scholarship program enrollment caps. And so if you're wearing the uniform, we're going to be there for you. Bill also expands the use of scholarship funds. It also did a change. It took our Gardner and McKay scholarship students and put them into the FES program. Now they're grandfathered in under current benefit levels and services. And as they are phased into FES, the bill ensures all families will maintain full continuity of service. But what I've told folks is, I didn't necessarily ask for the change to Gardner and McKay. And so, if we're in a situation where we don't think that the new students coming in are being serviced adequately, we'll be sure to make sure that we respond in the next legislative session and get done what we need to get done. But at the end of the day, Florida has done more to provide families with choice in education, particularly our low-income families, than any state in the country. And we're proud of that. Yeah. And we've been very proud of that, but I think the question before us for this legislative session is, we're not just going to stand pat and rest on our laurels. We're going on offense. We're going to expand choice. We're not just going to be happy with the current amount of choices. We went on offense at the beginning of the school year by making sure all our schools were open for in-person instruction. We've gone on offense. We've gone on offense to make sure everyone's got a right to work, all businesses have a right to be open. The state's better off for that, and so I think today is a really exciting day. We're never satisfied. We're always going to seek to do more, And today we're expanding opportunities for tens of thousands of families throughout the great state of Florida. So I'm excited to be here and happy to introduce our Education Commissioner, Richard Corcoran.
Wow. Thank you. I'll start by saying it was 2.5 years ago, give or take, when the governor asked if I would be the Education Commissioner. I thought, okay, this sounds like a great opportunity, and maybe we'll put together some ideas and I can help champion the governor's vision. Little did I know that his vision would be quasi-exhausting. I mean, every day is another education idea to transform the lives of our students. And you know, we quote a lot Frederick Douglass, but Frederick Douglass has the best quote. If you want to change a society, you want to make society better, the one thing that we can do, all these lawmakers behind us and the governor, is education is everything. If you give a child that world-class education, you're going to change their heart, soul, and their minds. And Frederick Douglass said that education was freedom. It was the uplifting of the human soul to the glorious light of truth. And to deny anybody, a human being, that kind of an education is the greatest crime against humanity. Oh, wow. And that is what we are talking about. We have a governor who, you look at how education changed in the state of Florida. Accountability changed everything. Choice, what we're talking about today, changed everything. And having great teachers. This is a governor who in only 3 sessions has passed the largest teacher compensation package in the history of the state for public school teachers. In addition to that, today we stand, and it's the largest expansion of school choice. Anywhere from 1.2 to 1.7 million kids eligible to have that choice, to have that world education that not only transforms their heart, mind, and souls, the community and the states.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I do want to thank, as the governor did, these legislators back here were just champions for education, did a fantastic job. I also want to say that, you know, in the formative stages of Florida, when choice was a bad word, as the governor has talked about, we have one of the founders of choice in Florida, selflessly gives his time, his money, and his energy to make sure that every single parent of every single child can give that child the education they deserve, and they make the decision. Nobody knows their children better than your parents. Trust me, I have 6 kids. I know them better than a bureaucrat. I would like to make those decisions. But he's here with us, and I do want to point out, John Curley, if you don't know John, John's been a champion on the front lines. But with that, I just want to say to all of you guys, to your school, for all you guys are doing, if we want to save this constitutional republic for another 230 years, we have got to give a world-class education to our students. We've got to give them that hope. We've got to give them that future. And what you guys are doing is fantastic. And Governor, we can't thank you enough for leading the way and making Florida literally the beacon of light, not just in freedom, but in education for this country. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Aaron Bean, and for many of you, I am your state senator. I want to be brief because I know all of the kids here, all 200 and some odd kids, want us to hurry so they can get back to class. Is that right, kids? Yeah, sure. That's exactly right. I am pleased to welcome back Governor DeSantis. I say welcome back because he has been here so often, touting good news, touting a state that's open, touting everybody. The whole nation wants to come to Florida because where it's free, where we're open for business, and that's exciting. I also want to salute my colleagues back there, Representative Garrison, Representative Yarborough, Representative Byrd, and Representative Duggan. Once the dust settles, you're going to hear the tales of one of the best legislative sessions that Northeast Florida has ever had. And that's part of which Governor DeSantis challenged us on so many levels. So when that story is told, I'm excited about telling us. I was going to talk to you about one of the most powerful forces on the planet, the force that can transform lives, the force that can break the cycle of generational poverty. But Frederick Douglass and Commissioner Corcoran already talked about it. It's education. But imagine for many parents discover early on that there's no one size fits all. I've got 3 boys, and they're different the way they learn, and so everybody's different. Maybe public school is good for one, or virtual school is good for somebody else, or a private school or homeschool. There's choices, and so we have to give opportunities to families, and that's what this bill does. This bill empowers families. In just a few minutes, you're going to hear for some families whose lives it's changed and continues to change. They're going to be the future legislators and governors of tomorrow, because we're suiting them for what's best. It's important to know two things about this bill, though. One is the bill it's not given to schools or institution. It empowers families. It's given to the student and to the families, and then they choose. They choose what is best for their kids. Now, that's a great thing, because not only empowers families, we'll hear that, but it also makes competition among schools so everybody gets better. The other thing that I want to brag on is our governor, because he said when we originally started talking about this scholarship, he said early on, I do not and I will not tolerate a waiting list. So whatever we settle on, a waiting list, nobody wants to wait in line. Nobody, imagine you're 18,000th in line, but if you miss a year or two, that could be everything in school. So the governor, when he signs, he made a promise, we will not have a waiting list. And when he signs right over here, that will be a promise kept. So I want to thank the governor to say that every year, right, every year in a child's life counts. So Governor DeSantis, welcome back. I look forward to seeing you very soon for the next big announcement. Let's go get them. Thank you, Governor.
Thanks. Okay, Maria, are you here? Come on.
Good day. It is wonderful to be here on this historic day. My name is Marie Echevarria. I'm a proud public school, high school teacher in Orlando and a single mother who struggles to make ends meet. That includes scraping and saving to afford to send my son, Eddie Joe, to the private school that works best for him. This bill that Governor DeSantis is signing into law today will change my life. In addition to being a mother to my son, I also care for both my parents in my home. So money and time are short in supply. I have worked 2 or 3 part-time jobs to pay my bills, which includes paying tuition in St. Charles Borromeo Catholic School. He loves it, right? Yes. Oh, yes. And he's doing very well academically. Straight A's.
Oh, wow.
Thanks to the wonderful administration, teachers, and family atmosphere at that school. The trade-off is that I work so hard that I don't get to spend much time with my son. It will be so much easier if I could get a Florida School Choice Scholarship for Eddie Joe, which, believe it or not, I make too much money to qualify, just a few $1,000s over the income limit. So I'm overjoyed to see this bill raise the income ceiling enough so that I can and other working families living on the edge will qualify for the much needed financial assistance. This is like a great big gust of fresh air to me. It will allow to pick up Eddie Joe at school and take him home and study with him and watch TV with him. Something that I haven't done in years, and now he's gonna go to 4th grade. I will be able to afford him to buy him ice cream and probably afford extracurricular activities for his enjoyment. Yeah. Thank you so much, Governor DeSantis.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you, lawmakers.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for bringing some sanity back to my life, to this single mom, without having to sacrifice my son's education. And I just want to say that as both a public school teacher and a parent, I know that even the best school may not be the right fit for every child. My hope is that we can keep the fact in mind that we can talk about educational choice. Thank you very much. May God bless us all.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 2 other parents, Juan Santana and Jessica Bianchi. I think Jessica, are you going to speak? Where is she? Okay, come on.
Happy.
Yep.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Bianchi, and this is my husband, Juan Santana. We are honored to be here today to celebrate this important legislation. Juan and I were both born and raised in Puerto Rico, but now we love living in Florida. This is our home away from home. Juan is a Chief Petty Officer in the Navy. He works in NAS Jacksonville. And I work at Episcopal Children's Services, which is a nonprofit here in Jacksonville as well. My daughter, GS, she attends here at Christ the King Catholic School. And Jan, he attends Morning Star Catholic School, which is right next door and is a school for children with learning differences. And he goes because he has a Gardner Scholarship. We have had to make many sacrifices to afford GS tuition because our family previously did not qualify for Florida's income-based scholarships. And we tried. Ms. Stephanie helped us, and yeah, we just were right up there. And now, thanks to this bill that Governor DeSantis is signing into law, children of military families will now be eligible. And that will be an enormous help for us financially, and will ensure that Gia can stay in the school that she loves and that we feel totally comfortable in having her here. Christ the King has the familiarity of the schools that we went to back home, but here they have so many new approaches to education. They embrace the future, but they never leave tradition behind. Having the importance of family values, hard work, and community, which is so important for us as a family. Most of all, it was a sense of that sense of family that welcomed us when we came here. And I know that, they never treated us like strangers. I know if my husband gets deployed, he has to go away. I have a family here, and with Morning Star family too. We want to thank the legislature, and we want to thank the Governor DeSantis for this new law that expands education opportunities to Florida families that otherwise, they could not have access to, and that they can send the kids to the school that fits them the best. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right. Good job. All right. You will do it. All right. Okay, are they? Yes. Okay, yeah, I'll just get Oh, no, go right ahead. Go up.
Yes, get as close to the table. Yes, yes.
Got everybody? There we go. Are we ready? Okay. Karen, who wants a pen when I'm done signing? Anybody?
Love those charges.
All right. Fine art to this. So you guys know. All right. There we go. Okay, we got one up here. There you go. See that hand? Okay. Right here. Right there. Do right here. Okay, I got one more. Who wants it? All right. All right. There we go. Thank you, Governor. You got it. Thank you. Is that for me? Oh, wow. Yeah. All right. Well, can someone hold that? Thanks. Well, I want to thank Christ the King for hosting us, and thank you all for all the hard work you're doing. All the schools that have our scholarship kids, and we're happy that more families are going to be able to participate. And as Senator Bean said, this is a very important occasion, but in honesty, this is one of many things we've been accomplishing over the last many months. I was in Miami last week signing 2 pieces of legislation that are going to really be decisive in terms of early learning in the state of Florida. Really hard work went into those. They're going to have a huge impact on that. I was also last week, I got to go visit a lot of our first responders. My view was they've been working hard for us over the last year. We need to stand up for them. We got $1,000 bonuses for all 175,000 first responders in the state of Florida. And Richard had talked about last year, we took Florida from in the bottom half of states to the top 5 for average minimum salary for school teachers. And so that was something that really people thought you should probably veto because of COVID. We need to save money. I did veto $1 billion, but I was like, you know what, this was hard fought. We're going to be able to do it. We'll make it work. And obviously the states responded very well and our budget's in great shape. But we did that last year. We even expanded it this year. We increased funding even more, so that minimum salary throughout the entire state of Florida is going to go up even more. So that's a huge achievement to be able to do that in back-to-back years, and we're really proud to be able to do it. A lot of people thought a year ago we were going to have a massive shortfall, that you're going to have to slash education and all this other stuff, and in fact we were able to meet the needs, not just with K-12, our universities, obviously scholarship programs. We also did a lot for our natural resources, our environment, and all those key things. And so we'll have more to say in terms of some of the bills that come across my desk. Obviously, I'll sign the budget at some point. We're going through, there's a lot of line items in there. Some of you may have a few line items in there. Yeah, we'll see how the cookie crumbles. So we feel really good about that. Final thing I'll just say is, you know, we're monitoring this cyber attack that happened on the pipeline. That pipeline, of course, is not in Florida, but it impacts communities in Florida, particularly the northern part of the state. And I think this is something that demands really serious federal attention. This was essentially a cyber attack on critical infrastructure in our country. You can't just say the government needs to be involved. They need to help mitigate this. You know, my fear is you have these gas shortages. It's going to cause a lot of problems for people, just the convenience of life, but also for our economy. Now, we're relaxing restrictions in terms of the weight to be able to get more fuel trucks in to the parts of Florida that need more fuel. But ultimately, we really do need the federal government to step up and help. And you know, we don't want to see these long gas lines persist throughout the northern part of our state. With that, I could take a couple questions before I get on the road. Yes, sir.
I'm Joe McLean with News for Jackson. I'm wondering about as school districts are working on their fall reopening plans, are there any discussions about specific directives to those districts about COVID-19 safety protocols and that sort of thing?
So the question is, it's a great question, what about the fall school year? What's our direction to the school districts and other schools? And our direction is, you know, relatively simple. Have a normal school year, okay? And that's what we want, and that's what will happen, and I'm looking forward to doing that, and I think that the school did that. Look, a lot of the charter schools, I mean, Richard and I were talking about, we were at the classical school right down the road in the other part of town here. They had a normal school year, okay? And so I think that's where we need to be. I think a lot of schools have gone in that direction now, but, you know, these kids do not need to be wearing these masks, okay? I'm sorry, they don't. We need to be able to let them be kids and let them act normally, and that's what should be the case in the fall throughout the school year. Yes, ma'am. So the question is how do you maintain a strong economy in light of COVID? Well, here's, I think, what we found out. In fact, I was talking to some other folks today. They're actually saying locking people down was worse for COVID because you're sitting there, you're not getting sunshine, exercise, you're not as healthy, so it spreads, and then people don't handle it as well. In Florida, we had a much better balance. You look at some of our elderly communities, which are obviously the most at risk, like the villages. They played more golf over the last year than they ever have. You know, they were taking basic precautions, but they didn't become hermits. That's not good for people's physical or mental health. So they were out there doing it. They were, I think, healthier as a result of it. Their COVID rates were lower than anyone thought that they would be. But even when folks did get it, I think that they were in a better position to be able to handle it. But, you know, we've now vaccinated well over 80% of our senior citizens. The vaccine's available for pretty much every adult. I know they just did the thing with the teens and that whatever is available. Obviously, that's a parent's choice. We will never mandate that. But that's where we're at. So I think that putting seniors first was the right thing to do. I think it's been effective. And, you know, going forward, like I said yesterday, we're going to have throughout the country probably relatively modest COVID levels throughout May. I think as you get into the end of June in the Sun Belt, like we saw last year, you'll likely see an increase. But I think if we have enough people vaccinated, obviously there is population immunity. I think the impact of that hopefully will be relatively modest. But at the end of the day, you got to keep society functioning. I mean, these states that lock the kids out of school for over a year, they are going to have to pay. They're going to pay the piper on that for years. You can't just take kids out of school. And these parents, these working parents, a lot of them are single moms. They cannot earn a living and be the teacher both. Like, they need to have in-person schooling. And so it's going to have so significantly negative effects. And I think in Florida, because we made the commitment last summer, every parent has a right to send their kid to school in person. You can choose virtual, be given the circumstances. I know some people didn't necessarily feel comfortable, although I think that there's no basis to not want to go in person. In fact, there's some data suggesting kids that do virtual got more infected than kids that were here, because if you're doing virtual, you're still in the community doing other things, right? So the school is a very safe environment. And so we made that decision that we had to get the kids in school, and I think that that's saved a lot of families. I think that saved the well-being of a lot of our students. I think that that has contributed to much less mental health problems than we would have had otherwise if these kids were kept out of the schools. And if you believe in education, if you believe in that these teachers matter, that the coaches matter, and they play a big role in people's lives, how could you possibly be in favor of shutting down these kids out of school for the last year? You just can't do that. So we did the right thing in Florida. You know, we're excited that we've had a successful school year, not just with academics. We were talking about athletics, some of the stuff. You know, there's some places they still aren't even playing sports with the kids. So we thought all of that stuff was very, very important. So the end result is in Florida, and look, I mean, COVID's not over, but in terms of all the decisions that people have made over the last year, Florida, we have 26 other states that have higher per capita COVID mortality than Florida. Among seniors, 40 states have higher per capita COVID mortality than Florida. And yet, we're one of the few states that had schools open all year. We have a 4.7% unemployment rate, which is significantly less than the national average. And oh, by the way, CDC has closed our cruise lines for over a year, one of our major industries. We're suing them in court. We have a hearing tomorrow to open up our cruise ships and give people these jobs back. So you look at all that, clearly we did better on schools, clearly we did better on economic opportunity. And I think when all of those things go in that direction, you're doing better on quality of life. And the thing, when we had UFC here and did that, which was, by the way, a phenomenal event, very successful. Our COVID's gone down like 30% since we had that event. And a lot of people were trying to criticize UFC. So they did a good job. But, you know, the head of UFC, Dana White, said, you know, I come down here, people are just happier in Florida. You know, they're happy to be able to be in control of their own destiny. They're happy to have a government that trusts them to make decisions for themselves and their family instead of using the iron fist of government to regulate and restrict everybody based off, a lot of times, crackpot science, quite frankly. If you look at some of the things that have been done, you can't dance at a wedding, you know, you can't eat outside, you can't have kids playing on play. I mean, these are things that were imposed under force of law in different parts of our country. We didn't do that here, and I think we're better for it. And we're certainly better for, as a state, having our scholarship programs and all the expansion of happiness and opportunity that today's bill is going to give people. So job well done on the legislature. Let's keep going on offense, and let's keep expanding that opportunity for everyone. Thank you.
Hey, Scott Kent with Step Up. I talked to you on the phone.
Thank you.